Because if you don't get fed that, you don't find out about Julian Assange getting kicked out of the embassy in London. You don't find out about a million different stories that are in the news.
It's a fun story. It's a cool story, but do I need to know it?
It's a fun story. That's a quote for you from now on. Hey, what about Julian Assange? Tom Papa, hands up, in quotes. It's a fun story. It's a cool story, but I don't need to know it. Holy shit.
Really?
That's you just redefined white privilege. Well, right there. You hit it. You hit it on the head and lit it on fire.
No, but seriously, what can I do about a lot of these? Look, I think it's good that information's flowing and that moves everybody forward, but
right.
For me sitting in there trying to tell some jokes and feed my kids, it's like, do I need to know everything,
right.
every trouble spot going around the world?
Well, it's like, that is a very good question. It's like, how much responsibility do you have to be tuned in to all the events of the world and to act? Like, how much responsibility do you have outside of voting? And do you have the responsibility to vote? Because there's some people that are very interesting people that don't vote.
Yeah. I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
I want to participate.
I understand that, but I don't think Michael Malice votes, doesn't he? Didn't he say he doesn't vote? I think he said he doesn't. I forget his reasoning, but it was very logical.
Uh-huh. No, I understand the argument, but even if it seems kind of false, and I think it kind of like mentally engages you in the world. It's like you should be trying to participate.
I think his perspective is that as a commentator on the world, that'd be better off if he didn't actually vote and just look at it how he really sees it on both sides.
Right.
I'm
stay
sure
impartial.
I'm sure I'm butchering the way he would phrase it.
Right.
But I think it's in the spirit of that.
Yeah.
If you vote, you don't have a right to complain.
All right.
Okay, that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make any sense at all.
That was deep.
Well,
But I think, but look, it's a lot. Look, I think it's trying to be a good person on just a person level and trying to take care of your family and work hard and be good with people and help your community. That's kind of the extent of what you can do, and hopefully that spreads out. But,
right.
Julian Assange, okay.
Jesus, bro.
Well, really, I mean, why is that,
Well,
like all those people that we're talking about at that generation that only got news during that 6 o'clock hour, were they less citizens of the world because they only got that little dose? I don't know.
They were less informed, and the idea is that more people can get away with things they shouldn't be able to get away with, like what's happening right now with Julian Assange. Well, Julian Assange, in anybody's estimation, if you look at what he did, he distributed information that was extremely interesting to most people in the world that didn't know about it.
Right.
Exposed a lot of scary shit.
Yeah.
Exposed a lot of corruption. Exposed a lot of, what corruption did it expose? I know it exposed, there was that collateral murder video. That was one of the first ones where they showed them shooting. They shot at these guys who they thought were soldiers, and they were reporters. And it was sort of just the way they dealt with it. It was very scary for people watching that someone could just like dehumanize accidentally killing the wrong people.
Right.
And make it like
that was the military?
They were making it like, hey, but you kind of have to be in that mindset to be able to gun people down from the sky in the first place. The whole look, you got to put yourself in the perspective of someone who has to do that job.
Yeah.
And you take a regular person, and then you train them to do that job, and then you ask them to go and pull the trigger on people. They're going to develop a coldness to them.
Well, yeah.
They have to, right? But to see it. So what Julian Assange did is he showed it to us, and then he released all sorts of, I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't really studied all the files and what was released and what wasn't. Apparently, when Ben Shapiro was here, he said that people's names got put out. Apparently, that was someone hacked into WikiLeaks and released that information before they could redact the names. This is what I've been told by multiple sources. But again, I didn't look into it. I don't know if that was correct.
So they're going to say that he was treasonous or that he was...
I don't know what they're going to say. I think the first thing was a sex charge. That's what they were trying to say, that he had sex with a woman. He wore a condom, and then they had sex, and then they had sex in the morning with no condom. and she didn't consent to that. That he just kind of did it or something. I think it was something. I think they called it surprise sex. And if I'm butchering this, I'm sorry. But that didn't make sense. Like that they would be going after him that way. It was obviously not about that.
You go after, if you want to get somebody, you go after them for whatever.
But I think they're saying like hacking charges now, right?
I don't know. I know he was a little crazy in the embassy, right? He wouldn't clean up after his cat, and he was riding a scooter around.
Is that true?
That's what I don't know. Who knows what's true?
I know that's part of the problem.
But that's was part of the little story that I caught.
Duncan was poetically describing what the embassy must have smelled like with Julian Assange dirty cat shit wafting through the halls. This crazy asshole you have staying here
who won't leave.
Pamela Anderson comes over every now and then. They get their freak on. The surveillance footage of Julian Assange skateboarding in the Ecuadorian embassy in London has been leaked.
Kinda.
Okay.
Skateboarding.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. Like, what do you want the guy to do? Is there a problem? He's there for 7 fucking years.
No,
like,
he must have gone crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's like being, under house arrest.
Dude, I mean, it's amazing that he lasted that long. What they did, they waited him out, and then they were never going to wait him out. He was going to stay in there forever.
And then they just got sick of him.
They just got sick of him. I think there was also the Ecuadorian president. I think he took a photograph in front of like some lobsters and shit, and it was from a leaked email, and that photo got out, and it was very embarrassing to him because his country's in a deep financial crisis.
Oh,
and he's chilling in some Four Seasons somewhere,
eating lobster and steak.